All right. Hello, everyone. Once again, we're on our Hot Seat Wednesday. So excited to be here with you and support you. My name is Maria Feekes. I'm Executive Director of Adonis Fertility International. We're located here in United States, and we work very closely in all of the item related to Ukraine. Ukraine is a topic today. We work with Adonis Medical Group located in Ukraine. And today, incredible guest with us, Oksana Lutsenko. Hi, Oksana.
Hi, hello Maria. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So Oksana is an attorney. She's the head actually of our legal team of Adonis Medical Group. Okay, so I thought it was very appropriate to have specifically Oksana talking to us about surrogacy in Ukraine, right? This is more like, foundation of surrogacy in Ukraine. We called webinar Understanding Surrogacy in Ukraine. But what I also noticed, we have some families that registered that are already in the process of surrogacy in Ukraine. Yes. And as you also listening in archive, you might be first time to surrogacy in Ukraine. You never heard anything about it. You're just exploring your options, or you might be already, quite deep into the program. So for the benefit of everyone, we will start with some basics, okay? So do bear with us. Now, if you have some very specific questions for you, feel free to type in the chat if you're joining us live. If you're joining us in archive, there is information posted on how to reach us. So you could definitely ask questions as well via email or anything, okay? We are happy to support you. Right? Well, without any further ado, let's jump in. So, Oksana, the very first question I really want you to focus on is, yes, bring us to the common ground and explain what is the surrogacy in Ukraine and what is the regulation behind the surrogacy in Ukraine?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm glad to be here and glad to support you. For many of you, I'm the real support during all your program. And today I just want to tell more and want to describe the surrogacy program in Ukraine for everyone. So it's more general information. Yeah, so in order to start, I would say that yes, surrogacy are regulated on the high level in Ukraine, especially comparing with different countries in Europe. Yes, because in the United States also are regulated in a good way. But in Europe, there are some countries that forbid their surrogacy is forbidden absolutely. And in some countries, it's possible to do surrogacy, to start the program, to get the baby, but it's not regulated. Yes, it's you are not so protected. The intended parents are not so protected comparing with the Ukraine. Yes, so in Ukraine there is the law, there is the Ministry of Healthcare order, which show and describe different rights and obligations of parties who take part in surrogacy program, and also establish rights, like show the way how to establish rights of parents. So from the moment the program happening, yes, embryo transferred to surrogate mother uterus, the parental rights are recognized by parents, not surrogate mother. So she can't keep the baby, yeah. And this fact give to intended parents the confidence, yes, and understanding that they are the only parents, yes, who could be recognized in any way. In any case, even if they decide to change their mind, it's not possible, and surrogate can take this baby because according to the law, it's not possible. So it's very important, and this is the basic for this is the huge opportunity to Ukraine to give this chance for families who try to find the best choice between the price, the level of price, and the level of regulation and recognition of parental rights.
Okay, okay. So let me pause you just 1 second because it's such vital information. So what you are saying is that from what I'm hearing, Ukraine is really one of the best countries in the world, I would say, where the parental rights and decision power of the parents is protected and
Yes.
it's, by law. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, so in order to start the program, it is very important, and especially comparing with the US, that the parents need to have the medical indications for surrogacy program. It's not possible just to wake up in the morning one day and decide that, okay, I want a baby. I'm the single man or woman, and I want a baby tomorrow. I have money and so on. I just pay surrogate mother, find agency, medical doctor, and so on. It's not possible because Ukraine now gives the opportunity to enter the surrogacy program only in case couple or the women have the medical indication for surrogacy program. There are several indications that can be recognized as medical indications for surrogate motherhood. I'm not a doctor to describe all of them, but several of them, for example, in case just woman can't can bear the baby. Yes, so it is physically impossible for her, or in case it is very dangerous for her health or for her life to carry the baby. It's so dangerous that she can die or something like that. So in this case, the doctor of this woman just recommend to, instead of for her to carry this baby, to use surrogacy program. Or it could be also for unhappy, unsuccessful try attempt of embryo transfer of your own embryos. Yeah, so women just can't get pregnant, or she just have like a lot of miscarriages. And in this case, doctor also understands that something is wrong with her health, and doctor can recommend surrogacy. Yes, so it is very important because, for example, in the US, it is possible, yes, to wake up in the morning and to decide that today I want, and even I don't have these medical indications, I can do it. But in Ukraine, it's not possible, and we also ask, especially foreigners who come to us, to provide us with like medical letter from the doctor who will confirm that you have these indications of surrogacy. Also, it's important that in order to start a program in Ukraine, the couple should be married. So being registered marriage. It's not possible for homosexual couples in Ukraine to enter to the surrogacy program because Ukraine, unfortunately, um, doesn't recognize homosexual marriages. That is why even if it is like a registered legal marriage in other state, in other country, in Ukraine, it's not possible to enter to the to surrogacy program in case there is the same sex couple. So that is why we usually also ask to provide us with marriage certificate, and it should be verified by your country with apostille or consul legalization. It depends and vary, and we usually just inform you which road you should take, apostille or consul legalization. Also, it is important that it's not possible to not have the genetic link to baby that surrogate mother will give the birth to. So at least one of intended parents should have the direct genetic link to the child. So surrogate mother can be like an egg donor, or we can use her egg. She can't participate with her genetic material, yeah, biological material. But one of parents should give their genetic material and can use also either egg of donor or sperm of donor, but it's not possible to use donate embryo from donors, from both donors, yes. So it is actually there is like the most essential requirements for intended parents to understand if it's possible, if they can consider Ukraine as a country where they can take part in surrogacy program. For surrogate mother, there are several requirements also, as I also listed that she can't have any genetic link to child. Also, she should be like adult woman with her own healthy child. We also like check if she has the birth certificate and she recognized as mother. And also, she of course doesn't should have any medical contraindications. Yes, to the program to in order to participate in program. So she has to be super healthy. A lot of she should pass a lot of exams, tests, and of course not have any bad habits, no smoking person, and so on. And we also testing and try to find if she really smoke or not smoke or drugs and so on. But usually we also understand it like we have a talk with her, like psychological evaluation and so on.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So again, just to summarize, I wrote down, so in order for intended parents to participate in surrogacy in Ukraine, I counted three requirements. So it's a medical indication for surrogacy, and you gave us some examples, okay? Genetic link to a baby, meaning at least minimum one parent needs to be connected genetically, cannot be two donor materials. And also it's married heterosexual couple, right? Because you said even if you're married, but you're same-sex marriage in Ukraine, it's not gonna qualify you for the program. So that also means, for example, if you are single parent, so let's say you're a single mom, and you have medical indication for surrogacy, but because you're not married, you cannot be part of the surrogacy in Ukraine. Is this correct?
Yes, it is correct. It's my opinion that it's not fair, but it's as it is. Yes. So in the United States, it's possible. I don't think that we can divide people, married people, not married people, but in Ukraine, it still works. I hope that we can someday we will change it.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing that feedback as well. All right, great. So I think you also touched in, you said, parental rights establishment, protection of the parental decision power. You really touched on that. Is there anything you would like to add as far as like give us maybe some examples? You said that yes, surrogate cannot be okay. Here's the question: surrogate cannot be recognized as a mother, right? There is absolutely no way for her, because the questions that we do get often is there is a chance so the baby is born? Is there is a chance that she changes her mind? She doesn't give it to me? What's happening, right? And the same for surrogate. I think it's also one of her fears, like I'm giving birth of the baby, then what happens next? That one thing. And another thing that parents are asking, well, since the baby is born in Ukraine, does it mean that my baby gonna have like a dual citizenship? Automatically will have citizenship, Ukrainian citizenship. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it is true. So in case you choose Ukraine, there is no risk about not establishing your rights or that surrogate mother change her mind because he can't. She just can't. It is the in case it will be like maybe only in case it will be like her child, yes, but because sometimes I never met this case, but in case, for example, she unfortunately gets pregnant by her own, yes, before. So in this case, of course, there will be the DNA test, and we will find out that it's her child. After that, of course, it will be her child, that because parents doesn't have the right to have her child because not their biological material was used. But in case their biological material was used, embryos were transferred to her uterus. Of course, only parents who are owners of this material will be recognized as legal parents of this child. And yes, in case child will be born in Ukraine, child can get the citizenship of parent citizenship. So there is a law in Ukraine that in case it's not possible to get citizenship of parents, only in this case by special evidence which parents should collect and provide from their country, from their attorneys, it's possible to get Ukrainian citizenship. So it is not automatically. Your baby won't get dual citizenship, Ukrainian and the citizenship of parents. Baby should get citizenship of parents. And citizenship of Ukraine is in theory, it's possible to get, but only in case there is some I don't know, circumstances that arise that it's not possible to get citizenship of parents.
Okay. Maybe like hypothetical example could be, you're starting surrogacy program, your country, has validated that they can accept surrogacy, your parental rights as a surrogacy, and then the law in your country changes and no, like, it's prohibited, you cannot be parent, right? But again, I know, Oksana is sharing it, but we have not seen in our practice at all, like hypothetically it's possible. I guess what we really try to make it very clear to you that just because your child is born in Ukraine through the institution of surrogacy and you are not citizens of Ukraine, you as intended parents, you are citizens of another country, just because your child is born in Ukraine does not mean that your child will get Ukrainian citizenship. It's actually quite complicated process. You need to make extra steps. It doesn't happen automatically and it will not happen. Well, since we, already talking about, child registration and everything, let's jump into this question. So then what is the child registration process, right? Like how is physically, parental rights, established? What are the steps? Like, could you talk us through that a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, it is important that in Ukraine here we need to register the person, register this baby, just to have the record that, okay, so baby was born and we need to fix that it happened here in Ukraine. That's why here is the law as for Ukrainians, as for foreigners, that you need to get birth certificate. Of course, getting birth certificate is also give you the opportunity to see who is the parents. Yes, so after you get birth certificate and register your baby in the civil registry office, you have the legal document which recognized by many countries and which also by the United States and Canada, the UK, Israel, and a lot of countries. And this document will show and will recognize you as parents of this child. And no record about surrogate mother. There is no record about surrogate mother. Only your citizenship, and even there is no record about citizenship of baby because Ukraine can't identify the citizenship. We can give the citizenship only your embassy or only your country, the country of your citizenship can say, okay, this baby was born, or this not was born, okay, this baby, legal parents are these parents, and they are citizens of a specific country. So in this case, the baby has also right to get this citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so birth certificate indicate just the fact that the baby was born, the name of baby, and who are parents of this baby, and no information about the citizenship. So with help of this document, you can apply for passport at your embassy. You can apply for citizenship for your baby. Also, you can cross the border of Ukraine, and to show, yes, it will be like the legal proof that you are parents and you have the right to accompany this baby.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Thank you.
not it's not a difficult step. So usually the lawyer or the team who supports you here in Ukraine just apply for birth certificate maybe in several days after baby birth, in 2-3 days, and it depends on the city where you applied. I used to work with Kiev. Now I work in Lviv, and in Lviv you will get it on the same day. In Kiev, you need some additional time to get a birth certificate because they send it for additional approval to Ministry of Justice.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So because we do exit process, not exit process, but we prefer to do delivery of the babies in Lviv. That's why at the head of our legal team, you do baby registrations in Lviv. So thank you for sharing that. You mentioned something, yes, that the birth certificate lists parent's name, list child's name, date of birth, place of birth is going to say Ukraine. Just want to reiterate that no mentioning of surrogate, yes, or egg donor on a birth certificate, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so to the whole world, guys, you are the parents. There is, and it's up to you later on if you want to disclose any details on that. And then the next step, like you said, it's a passport, correct? Because you mentioned that birth certificate you could be using crossing the border. Yes, it's absolutely, you will have it, right? It might be requested, but I don't want you to walk away, guys, thinking that you could exit the country, cross the border, and enter another country with just birth certificate, right? So talk us through the passport of the baby.
Yes, it is correct. So it was a period when the war just started in Ukraine that it was possible to cross the border only with the birth certificate, but this period finished. That's why now and like several years ago for all life, it's a requirement, strict requirement to cross the border with help of ID document, so passport document or travel document. Sometimes a travel document with the picture of child, but it should be used by embassy or the government of the citizenship of parents. So it is official document of government of your citizenship, not Ukrainian government. Yes, it's not the passport or travel document which could be issued by Ukraine. So yeah, after we get birth certificate, and it of course depends of the state because there are a lot of absolutely different protocols and steps which should be done before get passport. Which documents should we collect for United States, for the UK, for Israel, I don't know, for Japan, and so on. That's why you need to get birth certificate, and after that maybe provide additional documents, medical documentation, some additional documents from the surrogate mother, and do a lot of translation to the language of your citizenship, and provide this your embassy, your representative of your country in Ukraine, or in case it is closed now in Ukraine, to the nearest place, to the nearest country where it's open, for example, in Poland. and provide with all this set of documents. Sometimes embassy requires a DNA test result in order just to double confirm that this is your child and at least one of parents have the link to the child. Um, I know that China still requires it, but for example, Canada and the United States, they changed their mind and didn't and don't ask for it, at least for now. Canada just absolutely refused for this requirement, and the United States, they told that this is like the period of war. They don't want people to stuck here in Ukraine and wait for the results of the DNA test. That's why they just, at least now, um, doesn't ask about regarding results of tests of the DNA.
Okay, all right. So what I think we like to do, right? Just like you said, there is so many requirements and difference between countries and so forth. So guys, what I really appreciate about Oksana and our team. So when we start the process with you, we do all of this preliminary, checking, understanding, and sharing with you what will be the documents required for the end process. So we really start with your end process in mind. Yes. So, there are some countries that is very clear what the process is, right? And like Oksana shared, some countries, surrogate, your parental rights as surrogacy might be allowed, but it could be gray areas. So if you from one of those countries, before we start any process with you for surrogacy in Ukraine, we definitely will be going through the due diligence on how the exit process will look like, right? At least, what information you need and confirmations from your country. So then we start planning of actual exit process, we call it, right? All of that collection of the documents, giving you a heads up and everything. Oksana, when? Is it like about third trimester, like, or what is your preference? Like when we
Yes.
start really.
Yes. Yeah, we are getting closer because, of course, yes, it depends. I can also tell you, Maria, for example, for Japanese and Israeli, we provide like in the middle of the program, I would say maybe in 20 weeks of pregnancy. They ask us to provide some additional documents that are required in the middle of the process because there is some court decisions should be provided in order to get some documents because it's like it's difficult process comparing with the Canadian or the UK or American process. That is why yes, mostly we just contact you and ask to prepare documents to embassy. Yes, approximately in third trimester, maybe in 2 months before the estimated date of baby birth. Yeah, but sometimes for some countries we can contact earlier our parents and bless you, Maria. It's true.
I had to mute myself, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, we can contact earlier and just ask to provide some documents, or we will provide some documents for the court or for attorney of your country of citizenship of parents' country.
Okay, wonderful. And just so parents could understand. So, for example, that exit process from the moment of birth, okay, for United States as of right now is about a week. Is this correct?
Yes, it is correct because they give this the opportunity to get passport here in Kyiv in Ukraine. Um, and it's this passport is not like 5 years passport. It's only valid for 1 year. It's like kind of emergency, and they issue it. The basis for it are like documents that we should provide embassy with. Some part of documents are prepared by parents. Some documents, most of them, prepared by agency or clinic, maternity hospital, and so on. A lot of people who are involved in this process. So they ask about more documents comparing with the situation when they ask for DNA test, but so they like change. So they decided that we will not ask you for the DNA test, but instead of the DNA, please provide us with more documents. But it's better. It's better for parents because DNA. The worst the worst issue in the DNA process, that is the timeline. You can understand this timeline. It depends of the company, the courier company. It depends of DNA lab. Too many parties are involved, and you can wait for these like years because U.S. embassy asks for specific certified labs, yes, to provide this test from them, not like any DNA test from any lab in Ukraine. They should send these samples into the US and wait for these results. And it takes some period, maybe 2 weeks, and it's not possible now. It's possible, but not good. Not good for parents to stay here in Ukraine for a long time.
Right.
That's
Okay. So it's
yeah.
we on expedited process, and it takes about 1 week for United States. Is it also for Canada about a week and a half?
Yes, yes. For Canada, also 1 week, and Canadian embassy works in Warsaw, so parents apply there and get also passport there, and use this passport for crossing the border with baby.
Okay,
Um, yeah,
perfect.
so the timeline is around 1 week.
Okay.
Also for American, it's important that it's not possible to get like the official confirmation of citizenship, like consular report of birth abroad here in Ukraine. You apply here, but we'll get it after you come back home, around in 2 weeks.
It's going to be mailed to you. I mean, you can't stay and wait for it, but there is no reason. Embassy will
Yeah.
just mail it to you. So you're going to have that. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Well, guys, if you have any questions, for the families that are right now online, if you have any questions, type it in the chat. We'll be happy to address, but we're just going to continue going with other things. Okay, so you talked about a little bit, you touched base on the regulation for surrogate. What about donor? Because some surrogacy program require donor material. More often we see egg donor material. Is there any special requirements for the donor?
Yeah, of course, there are some like legal requirements that these women should be from 18 to 36 years of age. She should have a healthy child, her own healthy child. Um, no negative phenotypic, I don't know how to describe it, phenotypic things, the good health, and a lot of things about health. Yes, so good, no bad habits as for surrogate mother, but it's, I think that's essential for any country and so on. There are a lot of requirements our internal by Adonis, yes, which more even higher comparing with the legislation. But they're more medical, so I'm not so I don't know about them, but I know that there are a lot of them. So there is a huge list when you come to the doctor. So doctor had a huge list, and donor come and just give the one third, second, and a lot of results of lab tests to be approved to the program.
Okay, all right. But from the legal perspective, you're saying, there are some requirements to the age and, some other things. What about, I know we get questions, people asking, can we meet our donor? Can we talk to the donor?
Yes, or it's not possible. Yes, so it's the donor has to be an anonymous.
Okay, so donor in Ukraine is only anonymous donor, right?
It
Have you seen any situation where I know a couple times parents ask, I know like my sister or someone wants to donate. Can that custom program be allowed in Ukraine where yes, donor is anonymous, but by consent of both parties, you could have donor.
no, It is
relationship.
not possible. It's not possible in Ukraine. Yeah. So only anonymous egg donation is possible in Ukraine.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Um, Key phases of the program. And I know you more on the legal side, but and maybe I could jump in as well. But for families that have never done that in Ukraine, they're saying, okay, we're ready to start. What do I expect and how soon the program will run? Do you want to jump into it and then I'll fill in, or do you want me to go over that question?
Yeah, just start and I will maybe add some legal question, some legal step.
Well, actually, I think a great point for you to add. So really, like, if you're ready to start, right, and you're saying, okay, great, surrogacy in Ukraine, let us consider. By the way, guys, hands down, like you would say, well, why do we need to consider surrogacy in Ukraine? Like there is phenomenal program in the United States. Yes, like it's one of the big prominent places for surrogacy. The bottom line, no matter how you turn around, it does come to cost. Okay. Cost is so much, the programs are definitely so much more cost effective in Ukraine than it is in United States. There is no way around it. It is not a program for everyone, right? Like Oksana shared, for some families, it's not a possibility because there are legal limitations. For other families, it's just not be an option because it's your comfort level. You want it to be surrogate and everything be done right next to you. So, absolutely, we're respectful of all of the walks of life of your decisions. But for families that are in a discovery process and you're saying which way is better, we definitely want you to walk away knowing that surrogacy is a very phenomenal option if you qualify and you're open to the surrogacy internationally. Your parental rights are protected. You already heard the exit process. It might sound like there is a lot of things, but really Oksana, or if you with other companies, attorneys do all of the steps for you. And like for Canada, United States, 1 week process, that's really incredible. And you're ready to go. So you say, okay, I'm ready to start. Our first phase is with gathering those documents, right? Like we need to make sure that we have your biomaterial obtained and it's already in clinic with us. And then, legal team, Oksana, they will be gathering those required documents, right? Like what would be the documents to start the process?
Yeah, so we need to, as I already mentioned, the medical letter from your doctor, which will confirm your medical indication to the surrogacy program. Also, your passports, marriage certificate, verified by apostille or consul with consul legalization stamps. In case your have like different names and surnames in your passport, marriage certificate will also ask you for confirmation, additional documents which confirm that you change your surname or name. In case it's not possible, I will provide you with a document that you need to sign in front of notary. And yeah, it is essential in order to get birth certificate then when your baby will be born. And also, we ask you to provide us with the power of attorney because in case you do not travel to Ukraine in order to start the program, we need you to empower our team or the person to sign all documents here in Ukraine on your behalf.
Okay.
So, it also should be apostilled and notarized.
Okay. So power attorney, so we design it, right? But you get notary and you get apostle, additional step of authentication. And that what allows you to start the process remotely without traveling to Ukraine physically. So literally you're going to be coming to Ukraine to pick up your baby, after your baby is born. That's when you're going to be coming. So once those documents are all compiled, that's when you're ready to start the process with your surrogate, right? That's when we do the matching. So your next phase, you're going to be matched with your surrogate. Then we waiting, well, at least that's how we do things, waiting for the control ultrasound at the start of her cycle. And that's when the surrogacy agreement will be signed between surrogate and you guys, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Between surrogate mother and intended parents. So at this stage, before to start the program, before surrogate mother get her first pill or for first injection in order to give the birth to your baby, she and you need to sign agreement. And this agreement should be notarized here in Ukraine. That is why we ask you for the power of attorney, because it's not possible for you to, it's not convenient for you to fly for the reason just to do it. It's not, in Ukraine, we don't have the way to sign it electronically with the help of notary, yes, or remote notary. It's only your presence is required, and in case you don't want, you don't wish, you can't fly to Ukraine. In this case, we just ask you to provide us with the power of attorney. In this case, for example, me as a part of people who will be there in the power of attorney list. I can go to the notary, visit notary, and sign this agreement on your behalf. And before, I need to approve it with you. So for sure, we will contact you before your surrogate mother should start the program. You will read this document, ask your questions, maybe some change. You want to change something, or your surrogate mother has like specific wishes. So we will do everything you want and surrogate mother want, in case it works for both of you. And yeah, after that, we find the way to sign this document in the appropriate day when the surrogate mother start the program, or before she start the program, but not earlier.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much.
After, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, right, got it after. So then, the next phase is really preparation of endometrium, right? It's preparation of endometrium and embryo transfer. That is more, the embryology and fertility doctor world, and that phase ends with the confirmation of pregnancies through the ultrasound, okay? So first there is confirmation of pregnancies through the blood, HCG test, and then 2 weeks after will be through the ultrasound with the heartbeat. Once it's done, that's when surrogate going to be moving into the world of OBGYNs, okay? Pregnancy observation phase. This is probably the most exciting phase, but it's also the longest phase, right? So stay with us, bear with us. A lot of times we're reminding you it's a step at a time. Make sure that we're celebrating all the small milestones, very huge list of pregnancy observation tests and requirements that we have, specifically because our goal is, guys, to bring you a healthy baby, right? Not just a baby, but healthy baby. So we're doing everything to achieve that. And then we preparing for your delivery, right? For your exciting moment of baby birth. That's when the planning, so that stage is a phase of the baby birth. The planning and everything, I think it starts as early as week 30 of your pregnancy, right? And the doctors will be determining the method of delivery, the timeline. Question, as soon as your baby is born, question I think many of you are asking, when do you think baby will be born, right? Because you're trying to plan your travel arrangements and tickets and everything. So really exciting time. And as it gets closer and you're trying to make decisions, we always, like, you work very carefully with the coordination team. They plan every single step, right? And of course, Oksana and her team, working on the legal side of the exit. But as far as, planning, how soon you should arrive, that's the question that families are asking. We always saying, guys, like, that really depends on you. Some families, their work schedule and just, personal situation does not give them a lot of flexibility and a lot of time when they can be away. So some families saying, tell me as soon as my surrogate goes in labor, I'm going to jump on a plane, we're going to arrive. Okay. That's fine, right? Because the discharge, we like you to arrive to Ukraine about third day from the discharge from the hospital. Third day from the moment of birth, which is typically discharged from the hospital. The same day we're going to be getting birth certificate that Oksana was talking about. So really, like, you don't have to, like, you still have a lot of wiggle room to arrive. But for the families who are saying, I want to come as soon as possible, so as soon as, my baby is born, And if it's not a planned C-section, but even if it's planned C-section, your baby could change mind, baby or babies, if you're going for twins, right? And they could come earlier. But if it's a natural labor, you have quite a big window, right? Because your baby technically could come, I think they could say plan anytime from the week 36, 37, something like that. We had some families, we had some families who like really were eager to come and they were waiting, and suddenly their baby or babies, well, it's small baby, week 40 come and went, week 41 came, and parents are still waiting. So anyway, so we're going to plan with you your happy moment, like when and what and how you're going to be doing it, right? And how in advance. You're going to have options, but at the end, the decision will be yours, right? Do you come way in advance, or do you come for you're gonna jump on a plane as the baby start going, as your surrogate is going into labor, right? And after that, then the last phase is the phase that Oksana already walked us through, is the really registration of your baby, the exit process. It's the receiving of your birth certificate, receiving the passport, or whatever steps are needed, they're required for your country, by your embassy, okay? That's really surrogacy in Ukraine. So it is definitely possible. It is definitely an option. Okay. We never have stopped. Well, in essence, we never start operating, with, since, some changes have been for Ukraine in 2022. We passed our new programs until about May of 2022. But continued all of our existing programs. And since May, guys, of 2022, already hundreds of babies have been delivered, okay? So it's really, really possible, and we're excited to support you. Question, if the surrogate delivers early, where does the baby stay while we travel to Ukraine? Great question. So Oksana, do you want to answer that, and do you want me to take it?
Yeah, so if the surrogate delivers earlier, it is possible for her to, it depends. In case everything is fine with the baby, no indications for baby to stay at the hospital. Yes, because I don't know, needs something for according to her health. Um, so baby will be discharged from maternity hospital, and we will find you the trusted nanny, and trusted nanny will take care of a baby during this period. In case there are some indications for baby to stay at maternity hospital, it is possible for baby to stay there.
Right, with the medical indication, guys, yes. But typically, we didn't really have many cases where parents were not able to arrive in time for the discharge from the hospital. But yes, if it does happen, couple cases that we had, like Oksana said, trusted nanny worked very well. It's not, in our case, I don't know how other companies running it, we do not have nannies on staff. So it's not going to be an employee of Adonis. But when we say trusted provider, what we require in order for us to recommend any provider to, whether it's a driver, that brings you over the border, or, helps you in Ukraine, or nanny, right? It needs to be someone who has been recommended to us by our families who already have went through the process, or other families who have done surrogacy in Ukraine, other institutions, medical institutions, something. So it's someone that comes highly recommended. So only then we're gonna reference that person to you. We have seen cases where, yes, when nanny was involved, they were phenomenal. They had medical degree, they were taking great care of the baby. They were sending you updates nonstop. You were getting videos and, photos, and like your baby woke up and here we are changing the diaper and here we're saying hello to mommy and daddy. So it's definitely possible, yes, but it's going to be, you will meet that nanny, you will interview them, will make the connections, and you will have that communication. So it is possible, but majority cases, I would probably say 99%, 98%, right, Oksana? Families are there in time for the discharge from the hospital, so not a problem. Yes. we had question also, I think sometimes someone was asking, like, what about surrogate? Like, will my baby stay with the surrogate in a hospital? Will she be like holding and so forth? Guys, this is very not common. It actually, I think unless you will absolutely require that and, surrogate is okay with that, that actually is not the practice. Yes. So the standard practice, and it's actually for the well-being of the both parties, right? Because once the surrogate gives birth, she knows from the start of the program and, through psychological evaluations, through all of the interviews and conversation when selecting surrogate, she knows how important her role is, but she also understands that her role is very humble. She's there to care for your baby, while pregnant. Once the baby is delivered, she knows that no access to your baby, she has no rights or anything. And she's good with that. She understands that. So she, once baby is born, she and the baby in the hospital, they separate completely, okay? And in the hospital, we actually have a separate nanny post to take care of your baby in a hospital, okay? So that's already for your program, at least for all of the programs, that, started in 2024. That's included. Yes, but surrogate cannot take care of your baby, right? So anyway, but once we know you on this and we understand your situation, we're going to be planning logistics accordingly. We have phenomenal coordination team, so really going to be detailed planning of this intricate detail of what's specific to your family and to your wishes. Okay, but great question. All right. Okay. Well, if there is no more questions, we're going to disconnect. Yes. So Oksana, it's getting super late for you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my huge pleasure to support it, to make this uh, a small contribution to their families' journeys and to families' dream.
Thank you, guys. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.